en Cabify. Bueno, la siguiente ponencia tiene todo que ver con un hombre al que rechazaron en Harvard, al que no quisieron contratar cuando fue a pedir trabajo en un Kentucky. La primera vez que tocó un ordenador fue en 1995 y que era profesor de universidad y traductor. Se llama Jack Ma, es chino. Cuenta que llegó una vez a Estados Unidos con un grupo de empresarios chinos como traductor y cuando quiso traducir la palabra cerveza china, pues no encontró resultados. Entonces decidió crear una web muy sencillita de traducción y se sorprendió porque nada más colgarla, a los pocos minutos, a las pocas horas, empezó a recibir muchísimas visitas. Fue ahí cuando descubrió el potencial de Internet y de la noche a la mañana levantó un imperio del e-commerce, Alibaba. Un nombre que, por cierto, le puso a su empresa porque cuenta que preguntando a la gente quién era ese tal Alibaba, ese personaje, pues todo el mundo lo conocía. Creían que era una persona, un hombre educado, un hombre inteligente, amable, que ayudaba al pueblo y que abría puertas, ese ábrete sésamo, ¿no? Entonces él pensó que era el nombre perfecto para una plataforma de venta que abriría las puertas a la exportación china. De esta genialidad hoy nos va a hablar aquí en el Congreso Terry von Bibra. Él ha desarrollado su carrera profesional en la cadena alemana Karstadt, en Yahoo y en Amazon. Hace un año se incorporó a Alibaba para ayudar a empresas y a consumidores de los principales mercados europeos a acceder al ecosistema del gigante chino. Con vosotros, Terry von Bibra, él es General Manager in Europe del grupo Alibaba.
Buenos días, señoras y señores. I apologize that I'm going to have to hold my speech in English. I wish I could hold it in Spanish, but I hope you will bear with me. So I was very happy when I had the opportunity to come and speak at such an important event for customer experience here in Spain. Alibaba is the largest e-commerce company in the world, but we don't actually think of ourselves as an e-commerce company. We think of ourselves as a technology company that uses data to help improve the consumer experience. So what we're talking about today is central to what we do as a company. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Alibaba, China, the Chinese consumer, and what we call in Alibaba new retail and how that's impacting the consumer in China. First of all, a little bit though about Alibaba. We are a company that does many different things. We have last year almost $550 billion of what we call gross merchandise volume. That's not our revenue, that's the volume, the value of all the products sold on our platform. We are a marketplace, so this is what our partners are selling on our platform. We have over 10 million active sellers, 466 million active buyers on our platform. We send about 55 million packages a day. We don't send them ourselves. We work with many different partners, also partners here in Spain who then deliver these packages. And at any one given point in time, we have about 1 billion products and listings on our platform. We have many different areas. I won't take the time to take you through all of them. This is sort of developed over the past 18 years. We just celebrated our 18th birthday a couple of weeks ago. So we have our core commerce areas. These are things like Taobao, the largest C2C platform, Tmall, the largest B2C platform in the world, B2B, C2C, C2B platforms. We then have our media platforms, things like YouTube. Youku is sort of like I'll call it the YouTube of China. We have delivery services for local delivery, for car services. And then what we have here, as you see at the bottom, are our foundations. One is Alipay. Alipay is the largest smartphone payment system in the world. There are over 500 million Chinese who use this to pay for things in China every month. They pay for things from their coffee to their car, also to their utility bill. They use it to pay for everything. Many Chinese today do not carry a wallet. They simply carry a smartphone. Their only concern is about running out of energy for their smartphone because then they can't buy anything. Logistics, China is our logistics algorithm. We work with many, many different partners, as I mentioned. There are over 1.4 million people in China who deliver our packages. They don't work for us, they're not employees of Alibaba. They work for all the many different companies that we work with together to do this delivery. Again, we're very much a company about using partnership and working in partnership. Alimama is our big data platform, and our foundation of foundations is the Ali Cloud. We have a cloud system. We built it for ourselves to be strong enough to deliver at speed and scale that we do, but now we also offer it to many of our different partners. The one thing that ties all of these parts together, all these different business units, doing so many different things, is our company's mission, and that is to make it easy to do business anywhere. That's what we're focused on. That's what we're passionate on, be it for the consumer or for the business partner, how to make it easy anywhere in the world. Let me talk briefly about China. As we all know, China is very large, 1.4 billion people. What many people don't know, 731 million Chinese are already online, more than any other country in the world, equivalent to the entire population of Europe being online, twice the size of the population of the US. But what's almost more important for us are the middle-class Chinese. There are over 300 million Chinese middle class, forecasted to grow to 500 million, 500 million Chinese middle class. They don't have the same disposable income as someone might have in the middle class here in Madrid, but they have disposable income that they want to spend on quality products from Europe, quality products from Spain. This is my primary job, working with great brands here in Spain and the rest of Europe and trying to bring those products to the Chinese consumer. Another way to think about the sheer size of China, there are 18 cities in Europe with a population of 1 million or more. In China, there are 102 cities today with a population of 1 million or more. That is forecasted in the next 10 years to grow to 220 cities with a population of 1 million and more. The Chinese consumer has gone through a transformation, practically a revolution, in the past generation, which is very difficult for any of us to understand, having grown up here in Europe. The Chinese consumer, one generation ago, 40 years ago, had essentially no choice. In terms of product, in terms of brands, there was one type of product produced locally, and that was it. Skip forward a single generation to today, the Chinese consumer, in my opinion, is the most well-informed, sophisticated, and demanding consumer in the world. They have access to products from all over the world. They have the income to buy these products, and they have the passion to figure out which is the best product for them. None of us have this basis. Our parents didn't buy smartphones. The cars our parents bought or drove did not look like our cars, but they were top quality products at that point. So we all grew up in a world where our parents, our families lived having great consumer experiences and great consumer choices. These Chinese consumers did not, because their parents did not. They're missing that basis, that point of relation to understanding where all these products are coming from. And they've come very, very quickly to a point where they have this incredible choice. So let me show you briefly, we'll see how technology works today. On the left-hand side, you can see a site, Hawkers, a Spanish company that sells glasses only online. On the left, you saw their site here in the West. It's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. But on the right, what you saw was how that same page looks in China. And you may not have noticed, we'll show it again here, that it is very, very different how the Chinese consumer wants to experience a brand. We'll try the next example here. So now you're seeing Hawker's Spanish page. Much more information, much more images, much more about the experience that Hawker wants to communicate, because that's what the Chinese consumer wants. The Chinese consumer is mainly interested in improving the quality of their lives and the lives of their family member. And that doesn't just mean buying the most expensive product or the newest or trendiest or fashionable product. It also means they want to understand the history of that brand. They want to know where the brand's coming from. If we look at this example, Dyson, the famous UK company. On the left again, you see Dyson's website here in the West. It's fairly straightforward, a couple of pictures, and that's about it. It's literally about 5 pages long, 5 scroll pages. Now we see Dyson's website in China, 20 pages long, going through, it's about a hairdryer from Dyson. It's talking about the technology. It's talking about the different types of hair. If you have this type of hair, which is the right hairdryer for you? It's giving you tips on how to do that. It's going into technological specifications you can see here, because the Chinese consumer wants that information. If we use this website here on the right here in Spain, people would probably find it boring, too long, too much information. I just want to know what's the price, is it available, and then I want to go. I want to shop efficiently and quickly. The Chinese consumer wants to experience the brand. They want to know the history. Last example here, Ocean Spray again. On the left, you see the site here in the West. Very brief, few pictures, and it's about 3 pages long, and that's it. That's best practice consumer experience in the West. Spain, rest of Europe, and the US. We have a unified sense of best practice for e-commerce. But Asia, China specifically, very different. Here the Ocean Spray site, I apologize, it's a bit jarring. There are recipes. There are pictures of the farm where they're grown. There's the history of the family that founded the company. There's all this information about the product because that's what the Chinese consumer wants to know. We work with a lot of great Spanish brands here. You can see the left, Martidem, in the cosmetic space. This is a fairly small company in Spain that has become hugely successful in China because the Chinese have discovered this is the company in Spain that has the top quality cosmetics when it comes to how to treat the face in terms of lubrication, moisturizing the face. And it's delivered in a type of container that the Chinese really see as a symbol of quality. It has been very, very successful. Other companies we're working with here in Spain. So I want to take a little aside, if you allow me, because what for me is most important when it comes to the idea of the consumer experience is seamlessness. Consumers want a seamless experience. So I have an example here, if you allow me. The theory of computationalism states that the human brain is basically an organic computer, and our minds are software running on this human computer. In his book, The Tides of Mind, the Yale professor David Gelernte takes a different position, which says that the brain and our minds, our bodies, cannot be separated, that they are seamlessly connected in terms of how we experience the world. And for me, this makes a lot of sense. If you think about it in the morning, this is often the best time of the day to do what I'll call very specific tasks, computation, mathematics, complicated project management, sort of tasks that actually computers are often quite good at doing. You're fresh and awake. Later in the day, perhaps after a nice lunch, you allow yourself to perhaps daydream a little bit, or in the evening as you allow your body to relax, is when we often have our most creative thoughts, when we actually think outside of the box and come up with new ideas. The quality of the output of our brains is directly tied to how our bodies experience the world. They are a fabulous example of two things that some people feel are separate. Some people believe you could actually create an artificial mind without a body, but which in my opinion are an example of two things existing in an incredibly seamless way. And this brings me to what I think much of what's been happening in the space of the most important consumer experience today in the retail area, which we call omnichannel. So as many people know, omnichannel at Alibaba, we call it new retail, it's the same thing. This whole debate about offline retail versus online retail. And one of the things that I think has been a big mistake in this area, which a lot of companies I believe are missing, is the perspective of where people are coming at this. Offline retailers, as you can see here in Spain, and these numbers look very similar all across Europe, High street sales in Spain's only growing by 2.5%. In some markets it's flat, in some markets actually down. So offline retailers in the past few years have been very focused about trying to figure out, how do I do omni-channel? How do I do online? How do I launch an online site? Because I have a problem, my sales are stagnant, and I need online sales to help bring people into the stores. I need an online channel, I need omni-channel to bring people into stores. They're approaching it as a problem. The online players, on the other hand, companies that I've come from in the past, on average 23% growth. My company grew 56% last year. So a lot of online companies would say, why do I need offline? I've got online. Online is sexy and grows fast, and technology is new, and offline is old and a problem. It's equally the wrong way to think about it, because then they're missing the opportunity. Because what actually matters is the perception of the consumer. And the consumers do not see it like the offline players, and they do not see it like the online players. Consumers have a very unified perception, which is they want a seamless experience when they engage with a brand. They want a seamless experience when they engage with a retailer. No consumer here in Madrid gets up in the morning and says, I want to buy some socks online. And this afternoon, I'm going to go buy a refrigerator offline. No consumers think like that. Companies think like that. I'm responsible for the online channel. I'm responsible for the offline channel. No. Consumers say, I have a want or a need. Which brand that I will engage with will offer me the most seamless experience to resolve my want or my need in the best possible way? That's how our consumers are thinking. I break it down into 4 areas. Every brand out there has the ability to choose between these 4 things and say, what are most important to my consumer? Is it selection? Do I have consumers who are looking to me to have a very wide or very deep selection? Is it convenience? Do they want to make sure I have its groceries, so they want to have stores all over town, very easy to find, or a very convenient to use website? Is it the price? Or is it perhaps the most important area, which is experience? Everything happening in omnichannel, all of the innovation that will be happening in the next 5 to 10 years, almost all of it falls into the bucket of experience. What kind of experience can you deliver for your consumer that makes your value proposition stronger? Whatever touch points you might use, online, offline, social media, it doesn't matter, but you use them in a way to offer the best possible experience to your consumer. So at Alibaba, a lot of people don't know, we've been working on this for quite a while. For about the last 2 years, we have been very, very significantly engaging in how to also use offline retail and help others use offline retail to offer a better consumer experience across all sorts of channels, as you can see here. One thing we did 2 years ago was we invested in Suning. Suning is the largest store chain in China for selling electronics. We invested in Suning because we wanted to start figuring out, how do Chinese want to buy electronics, offline and online together. Another thing we did was bought a shopping mall in time. I'm not sure exactly what the situation here is in Spain, but in most parts of the Western world, shopping malls are dying. They're going broke. They're going out of business. So when we bought Shop in Time, took it off the market, people said, why in the world would you want to buy a shopping mall chain? The reason we bought it is because we wanted to have the ability to use things like Alipay to eliminate cash registers, to eliminate the separations in the stores, so the Chinese consumer can walk into an in-time shopping mall and say, I'm going to walk in any store I want, buy anything I want, and I will pay for it without even having to go to a register or use my credit card. I will have a seamless shopping experience. That is our idea. We're working with many brands here from Spain and other markets, trying to help them do omni-channel, connecting their physical stores in China to their online stores on our platforms in China. We are also working with the situation, going back here, of the rural Chinese. So I said there's 1.4 million rural Chinese in total, 731 of those online. There's about 600 million Chinese who are not currently able to benefit from the experience of this online transformation, of the experience of what e-commerce has brought to the Chinese consumer. So what we're doing is trying to set up in 100,000 villages the abilities for Chinese to come to this village, order online products, and have them actually delivered in a relatively short period of time, or sell their products that they grow in this village and sell them to Chinese around the country. We've done 17,000 villages so far. That's a long-term project for us. The last example I wanted to share is a store called Hema. Hema is a store known for fresh seafood in China. But we've done something here pretty radically because we can in China because of the omnipresence of the smartphone. Smartphones here in Spain are probably around 10%, maximum 15% of e-commerce. In some parts of Europe, that might be as high as 20%. In some parts of Europe, it's only 5%. Smartphones, when it comes to actual transactions, are still a small share of retail. Not in China. In China, the smartphone is over 80% of e-commerce. Online is a smartphone. People in China do not use the desktop. The smartphone is the internet. So that enables us to do things when it comes to creating a consumer experience that we currently could not do here. So at a Hema store, you have to have your smartphone, you have to have the app, you have to have Alipay. Otherwise, you cannot buy anything in the store. Someone could not take out cash and say, I want to buy some shrimp in your store. We'd say, sorry, you can't. If we were to do that here in Spain, consumers would consider that a very poor consumer experience. We would be prejudicing against those consumers. In China, this is not an issue. Everyone has this. And that opens many doors for what we do. So Hema works in a way that you can experience it in any way you want. You can order at home and have it delivered at home. It's hyper-local. In 30 minutes, we will deliver food, fresh or cooked, wherever you order within a 3-kilometer radius. You can order it at home and pick it up in the store. You can go in the store and pick it up and order it. Or you can do things like go into the store, choose it yourself, which you see here, have it prepared, and then take it home. Whatever you want, it doesn't matter, it's seamless. And this one example. So in China, it's very common that you want to choose your own fresh food. If you're going to buy shrimp, you want to go to a market and choose, I'm taking this shrimp and this shrimp and this shrimp. If we were a normal online company, we would have tried to build this as an app because we'd be thinking only online. So we'd say we're going to build an app, there'll be cameras and virtual cameras so you can virtually choose whatever shrimp you want. But then we actually said, what's the easiest way to give the Chinese consumer what they want when it comes to choosing shrimp? It's to build a physical store. So building a physical store, not because we have one, but to build a physical store to fulfill a need in delivering a better consumer experience in a way online we were not able to do. That's really the idea behind omnichannel. That's what we're doing here with Hema. So again, however you want to experience it, in your phone, at home, in your office, you can go there, have some of the food cooked, have the rest delivered home. It is a truly seamless experience. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of companies like this example pushing the needle when it comes to the consumer experience, using technology not for technology's sake, not using a smartphone because it's sexy, using technology in a way that enables you to create a more seamless consumer experience. That's the idea. That's what's exciting. That's what we'll be seeing a lot more of. Thank you very much.